Folks, if we seem a little low energy,
Speak for yourself.
there is, well,
Pow! Bam!
I'm gonna need to lean on the pow from you.
All right.
Because we assigned ourselves 10 times the work to produce a we took a trip to Willy Wonka's factory and we had to document that, and I'm sure everybody's going to be appreciative of all our efforts.
Absolutely. And I feel like we do need to put at the front of the video, the part that is the video of this podcast, that if you saw my TikTok promotions, making sure you understood how normal this episode would be. If you're experiencing it on YouTube alone, then it in fact is just our normal episode.
That's
you
a good
have
point. Fuck.
no idea what the fuck we're talking about. But we did upload the audio of our very unnormal segment. So if you're on YouTube, you can listen to the audio. Just imagine. It's meant to be audio only anyhow.
But yeah, kind of running out of gas at the end of this year out of how much unnecessary work we assigned ourselves. So this movie is brought to us from the good folks at Paramount. Now,
you like
this
them?
floored me because I always think of the Willy Wonka movies as Warner Brothers. They're inextricably linked in my mind, and I think that that's largely because of the snapper case that the original Willy Wonka movie came in.
I'm so unburdened by these woes.
Yeah.
I know not.
But yeah, it was a Paramount production, and then they reverted back to Quaker Oats, who then sold the rights to Warner Brothers.
Wait, what? Paramount was Quaker Oats?
No. Paramount sold the movie rights, or maybe Quaker Oats already had them, and Paramount was just the distributor. But Quaker Oats owned the movie. You can see in the opening credits, copyright Quaker Oats, and then they sold it to Warner Brothers.
All right.
Now, here's the crazy thing.
Oh, my God.
Now, a lot of this movie and a lot of what we're going to discuss about this movie is watching this movie with your third eye open. You got to know what to look for, and I do.
What?
When you watch this movie on Max, the Paramount logo shows up, and that's interesting because it's Warner Brothers streaming service. That's nice of them to give the credit. But if you watch the Blu-ray or you watch the DVD, this Paramount logo will not show up. It will just be a Warner Brothers logo. It'll be Bugs Bunny munching on a carrot straight into the chocolate factory.
Wow.
Yes.
Because carrots dipped in chocolate,
You got
a national pastime.
So, Bill's Candy Shop.
Ugh.
Bill, I thought.
I know, Bill. They couldn't give him a wacky name like Gordon.
I'll tell you why. Third eye.
Willy Wonka.
I bet Willy Wonka opened this shop. I bet the Bill is Bill Wonka. And this guy, this Bill, the candy seller, he's trying to play it cool. Like, I've got all these great snacks. Here's Slugworth Snizzlers.
And yes, and then Wonka.
But yeah, he's
And
really
also Wonka.
pushing that Wonka. And
All of my displays are Wonka.
the kid's like, why is Willy Wonka so great? Why does he make such great products? And it's
Please tell us, mister.
why, you might as well ask why the dandelion does the flower in the moonlight. So I'm saying this guy works for Willy Wonka.
I've said it when we were watching the movie.
Well, that's
He's
who
a
I
shill.
got it from. He is a shill.
This guy's a pusher. It's right by the fucking school. It's the first place they go.
I know, the kids just pour out of there and run to this shop.
They know where they're going.
Were you excited about candy as a kid?
Okay, you and me are severely different in this department. I'm sure I liked candy. I do feel like the idea of candy is really overplayed in sitcoms and shows and movies. And I'm thinking maybe that's because I had no restraints on my diet. I was lucky. We didn't have a ton of like stuff in our pantry, but if we had it, I could eat it whenever I wanted. There were no rules, and I'd say that's lucky and unlucky. But maybe the allure of candy misses me because, like, if we had candy, I was eating it whenever I wanted.
Yeah, you might be right, but I really think this is just sort of a dated idea that comes like maybe before snacks in homes were such a popular thing.
It's a reoccurring theme in Bob's Burgers, how much the kids love candy.
But no, the trope being propagated by people who've just inherited it but don't actually observe it in kids. I don't think kids have ever been, I mean, I don't know, since the 70s have been like going nuts for candy.
Did you just come across a conspiracy? What if we've never really cared that much about candy? What if this has always just been commercially interjected until it becomes a thing?
Yes, it's like
adults like candy just as much as children.
But it's just like you just say it until it's true. It's like a kid in a candy store. Like a kid in a candy store is as happy as a kid in a
Walmart.
In Walmart, yes.
Right. It's as happy as an adult in a candy store.
I also noticed there are no Walmarts or any big box stores, which I know were not as big in the 70s, but they existed. But everything is just small little local shops in this movie.
It's supposed to be a small little town that just, I guess, was completely, like there'd be one big factory in a town and that's where all the blue collar jobs come from.
Sure, but I'm
So
talking about...
Wonka's a villain. He shut down his shit, got rid of all the jobs. There should be riots.
But they show the whole world. The whole world.
Oh, right.
You never see a Walmart.
Okay. If I should dream, I should be able to see a Walmart in my
Tangerine.
Yep.
This candy guy, this is Aubrey Woods playing Bill, the shopkeep, and he sings the song, The Candy Man. The songs in this movie are by Leslie Bricusse and Anthony Newley.
Does he ever say his name? We just assume it's Bill because it's Bill Candy's
just
shop.
assuming it's Bill. I think he is Bill in the credits.
Fine. He's Bill in IMDb.
Which comes from the credits.
You come from the credits.
Don't tell him. The Candyman, the song, would the next year become a #1 hit for Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh.
Does his song mention Willy Wonka? I wondered as I looked up the lyrics. No, he just replaces Willy Wonka mix with the Candyman mix.
Yeah, because he made it into like a sexy song, right?
Yeah.
Candy is his dick.
My grandfather, when he died a few years ago, the nursing home, retirement. What's the right way to say it?
Is it the place you go right before you pass away, or the place he lived for a while because he needed some assistance?
Assisted living.
Assisted living. Yeah.
Yes. They had me make a slideshow for him with the song "The Candyman" because at this facility he was the Candyman,
which is
like because he
right. No, because he always right. It's an icebreaker. You're always going to have someone come say hi if they know your pockets are full of candy. I think it was smart.
But this is how you know that this trope about candy comes from old people, because old people fucking love candy.
Well, how else do you get young people to keep talking to you and think you're relevant? You're the one that can purchase all the candy because you got the car. And you're just like, come here there, give grandma a smooch. I've got a nice butterscotch.
I guess so.
I don't know, whatever. Candy greases the wheels.
I gotta tell you though,
but Matt hates candy. I mean, anyone that listens to this podcast knows that.
No, I know, but I don't know if I've actually said this to you. The word candy, when I was a kid, I couldn't even say the word. I was too like repulsed by it.
Like, and you don't know the origin.
It creeped me out just to read the word on the page. And I still do get a twinge of reaction, like, oh, don't say that.
All right, well, we both have this as this. Wait, we didn't start by saying. We did. It's a joint beam. Did we already discuss? Oh, yeah. Fantastic. But you brought this upon yourself. I did not suggest this movie, so
no, I
feel
know.
like you really kind of put me in a corner of having to abuse you with candy. Though I did try to find a way to decorate.
I didn't say anything about you doing anything to me.
But I feel it coming. I can't not talk about this movie without discussing candy words, and I feel like I'm going to get in trouble.
Look how much I'm saying the word. I've confronted my demons. I've gotten past it. Oh. I have much more of a problem with gum, so that is a struggle for me in this movie. We will get there. When the Oompa Loompas sing about how gum chewing is disgusting and you should be, murdered if you do it. I'm like, I agree.
Yep.
So, but, when I had to make this Candyman slideshow, I wasn't that excited about the word coming up again and again.
Okay.
I just wanted to let everybody know.
I'm glad we're still in we really do get stuck on the first scene, don't we? Charlie Bucket.
We meet Charlie Bucket. He's played by Peter Ostrum, and this was his first and only film role. He was discovered doing community theater at age 12. They found him. They're like, you might be good. Audition. He auditioned, and then they came back in a while. And they're like, hey, you got it. Move to Germany now for 5 months. You have 10 days. And he said he enjoyed the experience, and he was offered a contract for Paramount, but he declined, and he never acted again, and he became an equestrian veterinarian. And he didn't speak a lot about this movie until really the 2000s, when the industry for did you do something in a movie once kind of exploded, and now there's cons and special features on DVDs and podcasts and stuff. So he's you can hear from him about it, but it's got to be so weird to like
absolutely bizarre
to like this thing that you did 50 years ago. Like literally, I'm not that person who did that.
Right, but just to have that many minutes in a row and I've never thought of this, but that many minutes of you in a row, your personality that you could watch, it's like the younger version of yourself gets to live in a way that for us who did not have video cameras on us all the time growing up, like we'll never remember that part of it. It's just weird. My little personality walking around who I cannot relate to at all anymore.
Yeah. And like, I read this like there'll be like veterinary medicine journal articles about him. They'll be titled "Dr. Ostrum and the Chocolate Factory."
Oh,
It's about like his
God.
work with dairy cows and stuff.
It's like he could have done himself a favor by at least doing 2 more movies. That way, at least it was child actor and not just fucking Charlie Bucket.
Yeah,
You're only tied to this. It is interesting.
but I think that movies need kids, but being a kid actor is not good for you.
right.
I think maybe if there was like a labor law that says you can only do one movie, maybe that'd be good.
Until you are of age.
Yeah.
So you've really just got to hope you've picked the right project.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucked.
Yeah. When Gene Wilder died, I noticed a lot of headlines aggregating, a quote from Peter Ostrum. And the quote that he said was like, it's like losing a parent. You know it's going to happen, but once it happens, blah, blah, blah. And what they ran with was Charlie Bucket actor, like losing a parent, which is not what he said. Because he said, no, they hadn't spoken since 1971. But
Did he not give him that factory?
that
Liar!
That horse factory.
Oh.
No, yeah, this movie was filmed in Munich, and they wanted to combine lots of different sort of cultures and languages and make it into a like not real place. So, it's very clear German architecture, but people are speaking with American accents. There's like different kinds of money people are using.
Yeah, it just feels like ye old village.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, it's a storybook. But Charlie runs by Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, and he looks at it, and then a tinker comes and says,
A tinker. Just a man with a cart full of hatchets. I know it's a real profession, but Jesus.
Don't look in that gate there, child. You know what's in there is a crazy old man. You know down here? A crazy old man.
That's what he said. And it was a weird way to start the movie.
yeah, I know.
I know.
But it kind of, gets you, now you know what you're dealing with.
It got me thinking. All right, so now we followed Charlie to his home, which is just the saddest little shack. Clearly understand. He's a boy with a dream. He seems to be happy-go-lucky, even though he doesn't have much. And then the weirdest freaking reveal, maybe not the weirdest of the whole movie, but he's got 4 grandparents in their 60s and early 70s who've all laid in one bed, foot to nut or soup to
Butt
face
to
butt to nut, for 20 years, and just a way overworked mother making cabbage water for them, and
Wait, that means they got in the bed in their 40s.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes. My friend on TikTok named Dr. G McKee, he sent me a awesome like fake trailer to Grandpa Joe, the untold story or whatever, of him finding his golden ticket, his idea to pretend to be bedridden. And it's like this.
Yeah.
It was us. Anyway,
Yeah, there's something going on. I mean, yeah, when he eventually gets out of the bed, like
he's fine.
they must have deleted the scene where the mother like tries to stab him. So like you could have gotten out of bed and gotten a job at any point.
And all you old farts at some point could have stopped saying how they wish the boy's father was alive. What about me? I'm doing a good job too, right? And I wrote down that there's, they deleted the scenes where every night at 2 a.m. Grandpa Joe gets out of bed and like does like a little weird dancing strut around the home just to keep those muscles going.
He's got something going on because he also like secretly gets a candy bar for Charlie.
Yeah, how the
like,
fuck
did he get a courier to do it?
Right, he knows he just asked the woman, like the mom, can you go do another thing? And I'm going to say it's from me? Thanks. I mean, that's
No,
how
I know.
it's
I know
gotta
you're
be.
busy. I know you're busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
I know you gave me this little coin to go get my pipe tobacco, and you were going to go do that. But instead, I want you to go do another thing, and then I'm going to take full credit for that thing. And I'm going to go to the factory, mama. All right, so this is when we see his very strong bond with Grandpa Joe, which they don't explain why it's that way. He completely ignores the other 3 old people in the bed. And I guess this is where they discuss that there are golden tickets. Is that right? Is this when they're looking at something, Matt, in this picture you have here for me?
No, this is him giving his coin for, I want to pay for your tobacco from now on. And he's like, oh, Charlie, I couldn't possibly.
I've got a
Give
card.
it to me. Give it to me, please. Because he's fucking shaking right now. I need my tobacco.
Right. All right. So this was just to let us see Charlie's home life and how hard he works and how giving he is and how he loves his family, but really he just loves Joe a lot.
Joe is played by Jack Albertson, who was only 63. I mean, look at 63-year-olds right now.
I'm looking at one.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
And,
Don't I look good for my age?
But yeah, he had won an Oscar a few years ago for a movie called The Subject Was Roses. The following year, he'd be in The Poseidon Adventure. I think he's very good in this movie.
He's very good.
But he basically just vanishes once they get to the factory. Although not he's there, but he's just like in the background doing one-liners.
He's a great wingman. I mean, but he is quite the instigator. He doesn't seem to have parenting skills. He has buddy skills. I mean, I'm on the mom's side the whole time. He just happens to end up being right, but he really does get Charlie's hopes up.
The mom's side in terms of
in terms of dad. Please don't rile up Charlie. Please don't. You know, I mean, Charlie was
he's going to win all 5 of the checkers.
She's like, what are we going to do with all those, Grandpa? Be alone in the factory with a man and his Loompas?
He wants it more. All you got to do is want things.
Right, exactly.
I wonder how you ended up in that bed.
I'm wanting it.
I wanted a certain
lifestyle
thing to inject. So, yeah, the grandfathers, Joe and George. When I was a kid, I was like, those are my grandfather's names.
Oh, did you try and get him in bed with you? All of them at once?
I did. Well,
I want to try something.
It did sort of disturb me, like intermixing your families. Like, what set of grandparents are going to be happy being in bed together like that?
Right, and
and aren't just constantly arguing and shitting on each other.
Well, and farting, and how many bedpans are there, and bowel movements? Do those sync up? Like what?
But this is a thing that you know, it's from the book, and the book has a certain tone and a certain heightened reality. When you depict it realistically, it's like, this is weird and sad.
Weird.
Yeah.
But the other three grandparents are clearly, they look much older than Grandpa Joe. So I don't know. That helps me excuse them. And they all seem sleepier.
Yeah, they are.
Sleepier than Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, when he gets out of the bed and starts dancing, none of them are like, maybe I should try. They're just like,
They're like, no, they let him do it. He's always walking around at 2 a.m. anyway. So.
Yes. So Wonkamania sweeps the world.
Okay, and I know it's on purpose, but this first reporter, the one that's going to interview Augustus, is just standing right in front of a stag, so he's got crazy antlers.
Yeah, it's like
it's never since Twilight, in the first Twilight, where Edward's got a owl behind him, so he looks like an angel.
An angel.
Have a scene. But what is it supposed to mean?
Oh no, it's just funny.
He's dear to us.
I think this movie, especially in the early parts, is pretty funny. But it's basically like trying every single joke, every single like parody it can throw at you.
I was wondering if it was supposed to be like the town where it takes place. It's like everyone in it is just a little off. Derry, yeah, and I know, but they're all over the world, so everyone in this world is just a little different, a little quirkier, a little, just especially the teacher. Charlie's teacher is quite the character. All right, so now we are looking at Wonkamania. We're looking at all the links people are going to get all the bars that they can. The first ticket is found. And I mean, they show the factory scene for how Veruca Salt's dad manages to get her a golden ticket, which is always driven me crazy. I always think about those ladies probably have blisters on their fingers doing the same repetitive motion over and over and over again. Also, did they take that candy home to their families? Also, after they found the golden ticket, there's no way they kept opening it, the rest of them. And they still had like half of their boxes left in piles. And I'm thinking, the other ticket could be in those boxes, ladies. And anyway, it's like, your job's not over till all the tickets are found or all these boxes are open. I'm glad you found one, Cindy.
Mr. Turkentine is the teacher. He's very, I always like glommed onto this character because I like bad teachers. Like, he doesn't know how to calculate what percentage of 1,000 the number 2 is.
It's 2%.
Well, it's 0.2%. But like, he's like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And
it is not.
It's not?
It's 2%.
No, 2%, 2% of 1,000. No, 2 is 2% of 100. So 2 is 0.2% of 1,000.
I would have gotten an A in that class because he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
but he's just one of these elements of like, none of it really builds to anything other than there's just a lot of silliness going on. There's a lot of silly news broadcasts.
A silly Willy.
There's Augustus's father trying to eat the microphone. Augustus's mother. I didn't realize that it's a joke that she's dressed the way she is in Dirndl.
Because she looks like a yodeler.
Yeah. But
Every stereotype they can fit in,
yeah,
they do.
exactly. But we also, key character we meet, Slugworth. He's always on the scene when somebody gets a ticket. And in the case of Veruca, he's in that factory before the ticket is found.
He really is. So it's almost like Wonka knows where these tickets are going to be found. He knows where the boxes have been sent out. I've always felt this. It's the same person who, it's not like there's been a big shipment. I'll send my guy to that shipment. No.
No, he knows.
He's everywhere.
It's predetermined, and he determined it.
He snuck that in.
Do you have a, do you have a favorite of the other kids?
Yeah, Veruca.
Yeah.
I mean, she has the best song.
Well, she is the only, of the kids, she is the only one who has a song.
But she has the best song of the movie.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, she's definitely the best. And, she's kind of a girl boss.
Indeed.
She's kind of girl boss goals. But,
and Violet is who you're showing right now.
And she is someone I'd like to erase from the timeline of movie history. Not her fault, but just
because of her gum.
Yeah, taking her gum out of her mouth and putting it behind her ear.
Yeah,
Yuck.
and then Ophelia, honey, darling, hi Ophelia. What is her freaking name?
Hi Cordelia.
Hi Cordelia, honey. It always gives me the Jeepers Creepers when it's a young girl, specifically young girls, acting like their adult mom. Oh, hi, honey, boopy, boo boo. I don't know. There's something very adult that she's doing. It's an impression, and it makes me go, ugh.
Well, yeah. Whether she says sweetheart or whatever
Sweetheart,
word she says,
dear, you poor little dear, tut. She's like, ugh.
Her dad's funny though.
Yeah,
well, she's funny too. It's not.
They're all funny.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all funny.
And I like that they're equal opportunity offenders. Our American Mike TV, it couldn't be more stereotypical American with his guns and get out of the way. I'm a Wild West man. Cowboys over here in America.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on until this viewing that they're making a joke about Americans love getting guns as children.
Right. And they think they're cowboys. They think they're still discovering America and taking things.
But, if we're doing the 5 deadly sins of being a kid, so you've got gluttony, and I guess you've got
there's only 5
greed / there's the great crime, the great horrible types of kid you can be. You can be gluttonous, you can be a brat, you can be a gum chewer, and you can be a kid who likes TV too much. Yeah, these are the.
Why is gluttony something that's bad about a kid?
Well, I'm not saying it, but the idea of the story is these are 4 examples of bad behavior.
Right. It is right, because if the Oompa Loompas made a song about it, it's a thing that they don't want to see in their next chocolate factory owner.
So at least in the Tim Burton version, they try to update it and make it like she's competitive. She's too competitive, and her mom's hyper competitive, and all she cares about is that's in the remake.
The 2 boys bring their mom. Okay, so in the remake, the mom comes with her? Yes. What you're saying? Okay. Well, I guess they do. Yeah, they do try to show the competitive nature, but they need to give her one more opportunity to be competitive about something other than her gum chewing record, because she absolutely brings up that record several times, but it more seems like she's passionate about gum, not about the record.
And then when the Oompa Loompas sing about what her crimes are, it's that she chews gum. It's not
right.
You're too concerned about winning, about owning the competition. And then they make Mike TV obsessed with video games and violence, but more than anything, he's just a little asshole.
He's just a little asshole. Yeah.
Whereas in this movie, he's kind of nothing.
Once he gets to the chocolate factory, he's nothing. Yeah.
So then Charlie is a little upset. Why? What does he have to be upset about?
Is
it the cabbage stew and the fact that he has to work to support his family? Cabbage water. And
right.
So he goes to visit his mom at work.
I have always wondered, the opening scene with the candy shop, those kids are in there getting free candy. It's not like get an admission, pay $5 admission, and I'm going to pour candy all over you guys in my freaking song that I'm doing.
That's true. He's just giving it out.
Charlie just could have gone fucking it. You wait for Bill to sing, and you go in there because that man is pouring scoops of things.
That's true. And he's probably doing this every day.
Every day, this guy
he just loves
it.
Candy. Yes.
Right. He can't get a liquor license because he's inappropriate with goats. I don't know. But he can get that
Goats.
candy license.
Allegedly.
Yeah, not a big deal. Bill and the goats. They call him Billy the Kid. Because of the goats. He's bad. No.
Black Phillip.
What?
From The Witch. Go on.
Oh, that's the witch? Okay. That scene, I thought I made it up. All right. Yep.
What scene?
With the goat and the possessed demon child
Yeah.
that loves the goat. That is Satan? Is the goat Satan? I think so.
He's an agent of Satan.
Really? He
Really?
can get you a policy?
Yeah.
He's an agent.
So this song, though,
Okay, fucking Cheer Up Charlie. You know, Cheer Up Charlie is the Cheer Up Charlie of Willy Wonka.
it really is. It feels like a song that got deleted from the theatrical cut that they then included as a special feature on the DVD. But like, no, this has always been part of the movie, and it's
Sucks.
well, okay, it does suck. I agree, it sucks. But try to explain to me what is the
mom doing?
what is the story musical purpose of this song? What do we learn about it? How does it advance where the characters end up?
I always thought this song is getting an opportunity to see how the mom feels about her circumstances, what effect that has on her kid, that she wishes he had a better life. But then I listened to the lyrics of it, because we're preparing for the podcast and I'm overly critical when we're watching things. And it's just like, Charlie, you're being a bummer. Could you please put on a fake ass smile and not be just another problem on my list? Thank you so much. What do you have to be sad for?
She says, don't you know your grin has always been my sunshine?
Wow. Well, that's his job.
So
Make
put
mommy
your
happy.
fucking grin back on, Charlie.
Get it on, or I'm gonna be cold and frosty
Up
to
and
you.
at 'em, boy.
Right. Like, just get your chin up, get out there and work and work and work, and maybe Grandpa will scoot over and you can lay in a bed one day. We'll see.
The song starts with she says, you get blue, blue.
Like everyone else.
But me and Grandpa Joe
we'll get you through.
can make your troubles go away.
Boy,
What is she talking about?
what is she talking? Right. That win. You didn't do shit. I mean, you do everything for that family, but they live in a shack, so you're not doing much. And I'm just kidding.
No, I mean,
Right. It seems like there's going to be
it's
a
not
thing.
that. That's not my criticism of her momming. The criticism
I
is
know
like,
that.
don't make your child's
Responsible for your fucking mood.
for the way you feel. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Suppress your feelings, Charlie. Pretend that you're happy for whoever is around you so that they still love you. That's my best singing voice. I must right now because everything triggers a cough.
This is the second song in the movie, and it's the first in 20 minutes since the opening. So you forgot it's a musical, and it's like it's a shitty song. It's from a character who is not a character, and it doesn't teach you anything about your main character.
You know this.
He's sad.
Right, he's sad, and it made me sad. This I realized the mom spends like a lot of time like not in the frame. She's just half face woman. It happens a bunch throughout the movie. It's like, oh yeah, there's a mom. Don't pan too far over there.
Grandpa, I wish I could take you to the factory with me.
Tunnel vision. Yeah. Right. Well, mom's got to go to the washateria.
So, more Wonka mania. We see, an auction won by the Queen of England for the last box of Wonka bars in the United Kingdom. And we meet Mike TV. His sin is that he likes television too much and thinks he's a cowboy. And
he's rude to other people.
I guess, yeah. But I like this movie so far. This is
It's got some
funny.
gas.
It's why can't I talk? It's sharp. It's moving fast. It's got these weird like there's a Dragnet parody where like a serious cop is interviewing a wife whose husband has been kidnapped. And they want your Wonka bars. Mrs. Whatever, they want your Wonka bars. Let me think about it. And then there's the thing where the fifth golden ticket has been found by a man in Paraguay, a gambling casino magnate.
Why do you have to be the only person of color in this entire thing, except for the Oompa Loompas, who are
orange,
who've been purchased and live at a factory, and they don't go out because we've never seen them before, so they don't go to the movie theater, and they don't go spend their wages, and they don't
and they need to
marry, and hopefully they're all gay because they all seem to be dudes. So At least they could have some kind of social life.
And they need to be looked after once Willy Wonka's dead. It's not like he
Looked
can.
after,
not
right?
like-
Don't escape.
Or, hey, I'll leave my factory to you, my loyal workers. We'll start an ESOP. You can
Right.
all own shares in the company and run it yourselves.
No. I need another
It could be
white.
a co-op.
I need a white guy.
Yeah.
Get
Who'll
him in
run
here.
it my way.
My way. I need him young. It couldn't be an adult. No. You see, I need to be able to groom. And then he plays with his mustache that he doesn't have. Plays with Papa Joe's mustache. Papa Joe.
Okay. They find out about this con artist who says he's won the contest, and Grandpa Joe is like, well, blah, 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 Charlie's gonna be so depressed. And they're
Let
like,
me tell him as soon as he gets in.
he really wants to tell him. No,
Your
Charlie.
dreams are done.
They think Charlie's asleep in the other room, but he's awake. He can hear it all. And Grandpa Joe says, a boy's got to have something to hope for in this world. I did mention in my history that when Roald Dahl wrote this book, it was in the aftermath of this really horrible episode with his infant who got a really bad brain injury that he ultimately did recover from, but it required like tons of medical bills and seeing lots of doctors and weird medical devices and stuff. And I think that definitely influenced. I definitely see that informing, the situation with these infirm grandparents who can't get out of the bed. They both can't contribute and probably
Feeling
cost
helpless.
money.
And feeling helpless to help your kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that the desperate situation that just being in poverty and just trying to live your life and take care of your family.
Yeah. Or just to be without resources for any specific reason. Because even him, a wealthy person at that time, probably
Yes.
couldn't afford. If there's not science to help your kid, there's not science.
Charlie wins the contest.
Good thing Grandpa didn't have an erection. Because that robe's not hiding anything. That little dressing gown.
He can't.
He can't. Mm-mm. Well, what else is he doing in bed all the time? Like, I hope he's at least
They're
jerking it.
sucking and fucking each other all day.
No, nothing to do with them. He's just definitely masturbating a lot, right?
Just him?
They sleep a lot. When the grandparents sleep, Grandpa gets the
Deep.
meat. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm always impressed by how shiny and perfect the ticket is when Charlie takes it out. And Charlie finds it on his own. And then the most realistic thing happens ever is the mob mentality. So, ticket!
Well, because he finds out actually that South American bastard was a con artist and he
True.
didn't have a real golden ticket. The ticket's still out there, and Charlie finds a silver queen on the ground and
Right.
he uses it to purchase a chocolate bar,
Tuppin.
a scrumdiddlyumptious bar. And, he eats it, he wolfs it down, and Bill, the shopkeeper's like, oh, gonna get a tummy ache. Don't be so fast.
Do you want me to rub it for you, Charlie? I'm Bill.
And then Charlie's like, you know what? I'll have just one more for my Grandpa Joe.
I'm going to make chocolate water.
Yeah, this is like when you go to Wendy's and you order two burgers. You're like, my wife will also have.
I would like a... My wife says...
But watch this with your third eye and notice
What?
Bill then turns around. He's like, okay, one of the classic Wonka bars, and deliberately takes a certain bar and hands it to him.
Yes.
He knows that the ticket's in there.
He knows it.
Son of a bitch.
He's been scouting out the right kind of kid.
Yep.
The other kids got it because they had the means to get it.
That's right. And when Wonka meets Charlie, he's like, I read all about you in the papers. Not the
How?
newspapers,
How?
though.
Exactly.
He had a dossier.
He had one day before the chocolate factory opened. He finds the ticket. The very next day, him and Grandpa Joe go. He's the only kid to not be on the news.
Yep.
And there certainly couldn't have been a paper.
Slipped up, Wonka.
You done told on yourself.
But when we watched this movie with our child, when the child was like maybe 6, I remember them just when Charlie opens the chocolate bar and sees the ticket, the kid just like stood up and fist pumped. Like, hell yeah! Because it is like
it is exciting.
it is exciting. Yes,
Suspensefully
it's very
opened.
effective.
I agree.
Charlie, runs home and gets confronted by Slugworth in a tunnel. And Slugworth starts talking to him.
And that part always scared the shit out of me as a kid. But because my mom always told me that that's how I would die, is by a man on the street. So if you see a man, you get off the street.
And if he's a bald German.
But he was in a tunnel.
Yeah.
The advice that I was
It
given.
wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked. I'm
She
in a
didn't say
tunnel.
anything about tunnels.
There's no tunnels in Metairie.
Hi, Mr. Slugworth. So,
Jesus Christ.
Mr. Slugworth, in very clearly dubbed over performance.
Oh.
Well, I get the German guy just probably couldn't speak good English.
But why is he a
Good
German
enough.
guy?
Well, I don't remember the actor's name. But
Also, why is his IMDb picture just Hitler?
because he probably, I don't know, played him.
But if you played Hitler once, should that be your IMDb picture?
That's not. I don't think it's the actor in charge of the IMDb page.
But who is, and what are they saying? Is he a secret Nazi? Maybe.
You need to close your.
I'm going to
third
close.
eye.
It's too
But
open.
read it. What's his name though?
Gunther Meisner.
Yeah, that guy can't speak English. So the guy, I don't just watch it. You'll see
All
the
right.
lip sync is all off.
Oh yeah. I thought it was to make him creepy.
But yeah, he's like, I want to buy your gold. Well, no, he doesn't want to buy the golden ticket.
No.
I want you to get a everlasting gobstopper.
I'm going to pretend to be a small child and put my knees in my shoes and I'm going to walk around.
Remember the name Everlasting Gobstopper, and you'll get good food for your family,
Good food.
comfort for the rest of their lives, and also 10,000 of these dollary-doos.
Yeah.
So Charlie runs home, and of course, at this point in the movie, you should be like, okay, sure. Or here, just take the golden ticket, and I'll take that money. In the remake, they have Charlie saying to his family when he wins the golden ticket, but of course, I'm not going to accept the prize. I'm going to sell it to show what a good little boy he is.
That makes more sense.
And yeah, he runs in, tells his family, his grandpa Joe, gets out of the bed. Look at me.
Isn't it a miracle? Let me just try this for the first time ever. Oh, how do you use these things?
Kind of tough. I'm thinking I'm getting the hang of
Just
this.
pretend to be Ariel. She didn't actually. Wait, is it like this? Hey, is that how you use your legs?
Yeah. Well, the remake, sorry to keep bringing up the remake, but the
It's
remake
okay.
does have just him hearing about the golden ticket and springing out of bed and doing a jig, which is funnier. Here it's like
Right, he's
he
pretending.
struggles for a second and then he's like, wait a minute, I got it.
Whoa.
And again, the mom starts like punching him in the balls because she's so angry. You could have been helping. You could have been pulling your weight, old shit.
Right.
And yeah, we get a little musical number. Jack Albertson, a good showman. It's a little, it's modest, but it's charming, and it's in full frame in front of the camera. Both of them doing their dances. They aren't cutting a million times.
I always enjoy their relationship, even if it's not like the most healthy caretaker.
Caregiver.
Caretaker.
Give me that.
Relationship. I always like the grandpa, even if I do think.
I do too. I meant to mention earlier when he got the courier to bring him a secret chocolate bar and they open it and then they have this hug. That's like, this is very sweet.
Yeah,
They love each other.
they really do. They get it.
But Peter Ostrum sings like Pinocchio. Next time you're watching this movie, think of Pinocchio.
Oh God! Jesus Christ! Matt, that was beautiful. Roll Route 9, everybody. Look for
If you want to hear
that vocal. Just that one. Yeah. All right. So, one of the most iconic, or I don't know, is this the most iconic moment? I've always been obsessed with this, not the pretend to be a person who can't walk well thing, but Gene Wilder's fall into a somersault, a fall assault. I tried to do this so many times as a kid. It's hard. He does it so smooth. I thought it was like a stunt person. But to find out that no, he wrote this in, like, I will be doing this, sir.
He figured out he could
knew.
do this like
He
15
knew.
years ago, and he's like, someday.
I'm gonna work this in,
Yeah.
and here's the moment. And this is the most exciting part of the whole movie, because that's the most exciting part of anything you've been looking forward to, is the moment right before you experience it. It could be anything.
Oh yeah.
Schrodinger's cat is alive.
Food is best right before you eat it.
Trips are best when you're on your way to them.
Yes.
Yeah. Or when you're so close you can smell them.
This is good filmmaking. I mean, they really make you anticipate too. You're like seeing it all in all their faces, like, holy shit, what's about to happen? And it is really great that like it's 40 minutes into the movie and Gene Wilder steps out of the doors and there he is on screen. You haven't seen him at all in the movie. It's not like
Right.
it could have been like Beetlejuice where like you see cutaways
Lurking
to him
around.
reading a newspaper.
Right. Oh, let's see. Who got this ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The fourth
he's-
golden ticket found.
But it makes sense. I mean, he's supposed to be a mystery to us, and it works. We don't know any more about him than Charlie does. And I love his outfit. Fucking love it so much. I love the hat, everything. And I'm just as excited as they are as they all go walking in to and I love the little hut that just says Wonka right behind Willy Wonka that's yellow or whatever. It's just like, of course that's where the entrance is. It's beautiful. It looks like a tiny little village in there. Anyway, all right. And then it's like the wind immediately goes out of their sails a little when they walk in, and it's just a boring room, and you really have to sign a very not okay contract that you can't read, which I get it. Fun joke, but
if you ever have to take your kid to a trampoline park, you will experience this exact thing. Your kid is desperate to get in there, and they're like, "No, you have to go sign a waiver," and that
Right.
waiver is long as shit.
Right. Well, it's like being on a cruise. They make you do the safety thing after you're like, "Yeah, we're about to cruise. We're on the boat," and then they're like, "Now go sit in there and learn
Now
how to
it's
use
time
your
for a fire drill.
how to learn to use your buoy."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,
Buoy.
buoy." Yeah, cruises are really sad at the front and then at the end.
There.
I've only ever been on one. It was great in the middle, except for the near divorce. But
That's for another podcast.
another podcast.
But no, the end of a cruise is 1,000 times sadder than the
God,
beginning
so
of
bad. And it's just harder. The disembark process
It
is
takes forever. You're
in a
exhausted.
hallway.
You're fat.
you're
You're like
you're
Augustus.
hungover.
Yeah.
You're sitting on your luggage. Ugh. Don't ever get off a cruise, everybody. Stay. All right, so they sign their contract. The parents are not cool with it, but like they've already come a way across the world, and their kid's really excited, and so fuck it, just sign it.
Which I'm sure this contract is legally enforceable that children are signing it and under duress too.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we get our first hints of the factory though. With weird tunnels and hallways and stuff that are oddly shaped. And what is this, Wonka? Some kind of fun house?
Right, because the
Why, you having
hands
fun?
the hands take the hats and the little
Oh
coat,
yeah.
And then I can't remember all the
Mr.
things.
Wonka like the code to get into the chocolate room is you got to play a little thing.
And then the mom knows who it is.
Well, the joke here, it's very funny. She says Rachmaninoff, but it's actually Mozart.
Oh, what a tool.
Yeah. Mrs. TV.
And I've been filling that out on every exam I've ever taken since.
Well, tell us about the chocolate room and what's so good about it.
Okay, so this is always, if you say this movie, this is what I picture. And it's both the best thing I've ever seen and a really big letdown. For instance, he's sitting in a bunch of hay right now, which clearly I can't eat. And behind him, I'm looking at Willy Wonka, everyone. Behind him are two lollipops, and those are clearly beach balls. So I'm both impressed by stuff and then completely left down over and over again. It's magical. I love the excitement. I love how everybody's finding something they want, and the adults have now turned into children because everyone likes candy. I always think, where's the peanut butter? Where's the nougat? This room is completely gummy hard candy.
Ew.
And chocolate and cream like it's all stuff that's easy to show you in a big form. And then like everything's something you open and there's something else inside of it, just a big handful of fudge it's like, that's not how candy worked. I don't know. And then I think Mike TV is trying to like get something out of a tree, and Willy Wonka hits it with his cane, and then all these little candies fall out. I'm like, cheating. The big candy should fall. I want to eat the big candy. This is bullshit. I can get little candy anywhere.
That's true.
There's all kinds of little things like that where it's like, normal candy. Normal.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Also, who is maintaining this room? Did you make this room for this specific purpose and you'll clean it up? Otherwise, this is old ass disgusting fucking
I wanted
candy.
to ask you this.
Are there ants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What in the reality of the film?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's the river and the waterfall and the mix of the chocolate, whatever. But everything else, what's
Right.
the point? What's the function? Because
Who's this for?
this seems it's an e-ticket attraction for visitors, but there
Yes.
are no visitors.
No visitors.
Is it
And
just for him?
also, it would be impossible because you've got, Beatrice over there shoving her entire fist into a mushroom and then going, and then sucking her finger back in again. It would be,
Ew.
it would not be okay. It would not be something you could keep up. It'd be so expensive. You'd have to completely redo the room after one group went in. It's so unsanitary.
Have I told my story about my trip to the Krispy Kreme factory?
You have, but go ahead. I kind of forgot. And
Well,
remember.
I just did exactly what you just suggested. They're like they give a plain donut to like one kid, and they're like, all right, now just hold it in there and let the thing spin around and put chocolate on it. And they're like, great. And then I had a donut I had half eaten, so I just took it and dunked it into the thing.
That's disgusting, man.
I didn't realize what I was doing. And
how
they're like,
old were you?
I was 13. And they're
You
like,
fucking idiot.
hey. They're like,
Contaminated chocolate.
yeah, the tour person was like, I don't think you should do that. It's like double dipping. Now I'm sure they just like didn't tell anybody and moved
Well,
on.
yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, what do you think they did with Augustus's fucking skin flakes that are all up in this goddamn chocolate river? And the chocolate always bothered me. When it's coming down the waterfall, it's clearly thin as water. There's no thickness. There's no rich rippling.
No viscosity.
That's like, for instance, the opening credits. They do such a good job of showing you the way chocolate actually looks in
Yeah.
the wild. So you can't
Yeah.
go trying to pass off this poop water as fucking chocolate. And then when Augustus falls into it, he's coated like he would be in brown water, not in chocolate.
You know what?
Takes me out of it.
I never thought of that. The opening credits, the
Oh.
opening credits, are we not supposed to be seeing Wonka's factory there? Because we're just seeing a normal factory.
It's just a normal factory. But yeah, it's supposed to imply it. It's supposed to get you excited for candy and feeling like a kid again. So I find the room iconic, overwhelming, underwhelming, amazing and disappointing, and then terrifying.
It is all of that. It's overwhelming and underwhelming, but in a nice way, because it's like
It's charming.
it's a compact little space, and you can see kind of the, factory. What are those called? The things on the ceiling with the
Pipes?
The pipes. No, the air ducts and
Those are pipes.
I don't know.
Babe. I called you babe. I'm
Okay, babe.
sorry. Okay, babe. But and if you think about it, it's the only time that any of the guests get to like run free and not be completely enraptured and having a monologue given to them by. They don't know this, but they're starting the tour with the happiest they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I feel like that this should have always been how the tour ended. It doesn't make sense to give you the funnest room first. It does for the movie.
Yeah, you got to build to this, but he has all this figured out.
He really
He's
does.
playing us all like suckers.
He's watching everybody in the wild right now, figuring out the traits.
Gene is doing that in the wild.
Wah!
People always group this movie in with The Wizard of Oz, and I think that it's because when you get to this room, the movie has, in terms of color, been kind of drab, and now suddenly just the most bright, vibrant colors.
Okay.
And it's all in camera, and for that reason, like The Wizard of Oz, people will still, like kids 100 years from now, will still watch this movie, and it will look good.
Yeah.
But
wide
this is
shots.
also where you get the problem, which is now the only person who's interesting is Gene Wilder.
Yes.
And there's 15 other people on screen
Yes.
who don't know what to do other than just go like, gosh.
And we've already experienced the kids. We're all already annoyed with the kids. And even if you like Charlie, his sincereness and earnestness, it's one note. I mean, even our protagonist is kind of flat.
Mhm.
I like Grandpa Joe more than I like Charlie. So it's not like I'm rooting for Charlie. I'm not. But all of the other characters are made to be so one-dimensional that you are drawn and magnetized to someone who is naturally multifaceted, whether he wants to be or not, and that's Gene Wilder. So I am all in. If Gene thinks you're dumb, I think you're dumb. If he thinks something's funny, I think it's funny. If he thinks sarcasm is the right mode right now, I'm feeling sarcastic. He makes me extra hate these children, and I want them to die, and I want to just spend some time with Gene.
But because of that, okay, so like
It starts to drag.
in fairy tales, often the protagonist is the most boring character.
Okay.
Snow White doesn't do anything, but you are still experiencing the story through Snow White or through whoever the character is, who is just an avatar for the audience, and seeing everything through their perspective, seeing this wonderful world. Whereas Charlie, you don't see this from his perspective. He's gone. He's disappeared. Even though he's in frame, do you feel like all of this is experienced through his eyes?
No, I there's no sense of angering in that way. I feel like a sixth person.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anyone's exact experience. I mean, Charlie and Grandpa go fuck off, and then we get reconnected with them. Willy Wonka goes away, and then we get you feel like you're just a person walking around getting to experience parts of everything.
But I think that the one you're now relating to is Willy Wonka himself. Now
Oh,
he suddenly
yes.
feels like the center of everything. You're on his side and hating these kids.
And I want him to be impressed. I so badly want him to like somebody. I want him to like Charlie. I feel like that good kid in class on the first day of school where you're like, okay, Lacey, you're going to have to do it again. You're going to have to prove to this teacher that you're the best little child in this whole room, both because you're a sweetheart and you're very, very smart. Maybe you'll even make them laugh this year. Who knows? It's your year, baby. And
If
that's
you could make Gene Wilder laugh, oh
Oh.
my God.
I always think about trying to make Will Ferrell laugh. I think about it all the time.
Oh, all the time?
Well,
Okay. No, I when I listen to podcasts, I think like, if I were there, could I say interesting stuff?
of course. It's
No, I
impossible not to. No, I'm not saying you could. I'm saying, of course, you listen to podcasts, think people are funny, and think, could I keep up in that room? I think the answer is yes, but it has a lot to do with, will the people in that room let me get a word in?
Yeah.
It's chemistry. It's not like someone with the most amazing comedy chops in the world isn't funny if no one lets them in. So don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
So Augustus dies. He ends up in the river and sucked into the pipes, and
He would have drowned long before he got to the tube.
Gene Wilder has a very good Gene Wilder freak out. My chocolate! I'm hysterical and I'm wet. And yeah,
I've gone mad.
this is the high. It's all downhill after this. This is like,
Because now
this
we
is
know.
great. And the Tim Burton version does have Charlie at this point, after the Oompa Loompas sing their personalized song for Augustus Gloop.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, how do they know to sing that song about Augustus? Because again, this is all
It's all very weird, right?
Any-
These are simple songs. Maybe they've just been looking through the bushes and like, this guy's likes the food, does he?
The Wonkatania. They get on the boat. And so a couple of things are now starting to happen. Willy Wonka is now he's starting to speak in other languages and do his little pretentious little quotes from, all I ask is a tall ship and a star to sail her by.
Right. He's in a different movie, or he's not talking to anyone.
I think a lot of this was improv by Wilder, and it's like, I guess he's just trying to give just something to do.
Right.
annoying.
It's like Wilder, be zany. Okay, well I can be
Smart too.
I can be I almost said swarmy. I'm not gonna say it this episode. I just did. Yeah, I mean he's charming and dazzling, but is he the right Wonka? Are you setting the right tone? Now I'm scared for these people to get on this boat. I'm sure I'm supposed to be, but I think it's supposed to be more fun than it is. And then I just remember being a kid and being like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Is this whole thing is just to like, is it a gag so that at the very end you'd be like, we should stop. Let's get off. Cheerio.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that he's
But Jesus Christ.
fucking going nuts and screaming, the fires of hell are burning! Stop the boat! And then the lights come on. And
Stop this at once.
but I think that a million cracked articles have been written like, dude, do you remember how fucked up that scene from Willy Wonka is where they're in the boat? And it is, and he's, no one knows us where we're going.
But this is a song about Wonka, right? Like that's what this is. This is a man that's been in seclusion for a decade or more in this factory, just trying to be the very best candy guy, even though he already is the very best creator of weird candy sensations, and he's trying to stay on the top. And at the top is nothing but but the bottom. You can only get lower. And he's secluded himself with a bunch of yes men who come to him by whistle. Like, I mean, they don't even talk. They just sing songs. You don't even know if they know English. You just know that they can sing songs and dance for him. And I'm sure he gets an existential crisis like once every 3 days. And he's just like, what am I doing this for? Why am I making all this shit? I don't get to talk to anybody.
What does he say in the song to connect to that?
Because he doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know what it's all for. He sees dark things. He sees the worst in people. He's terrified at night. He's surrounded himself by the things that make him happy, and he's not happy. He's scared of dying. He's scared of dying at age 37, so he's brought in a new batch of children to take over. he's a tortured man.
Damn. Maybe he got a diagnosis.
From
terminal illness.
Dr. Loompa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's, the other fucked up part. Do you remember how fucked up that is? Because they're like they're projecting images on the side of the tunnel, like a chicken being beheaded, a dog's eyeball being cut open, a cop commits suicide.
What?
Robert Kennedy gets shot.
Okay. Shut up.
None of the other actors were aware of what Gene Wilder was going to do here. Like they didn't tell, hey, he's going to go nuts and start shouting about hellfire and stuff.
So these are all
these are genuine.
Are we still in the movie? Am I going to get paid for this?
Are we still acting?
I'm going to call the guild.
The inventing room they enter. And we have now the introduction of Grandpa Joe's. He's got to do something, so he just has a lot of one-liners. What she needs is a good kick in the pants. One of I think Veruca Salt is like, he's absolutely bonkers. And Charlie's like, is that bad? The movie it doesn't know what to do with the kids and the parents, is what I'm saying.
It's got visuals. It wants to show you some wacky shit. It wants Gene Wilder to be a wild-eyed, crazy man, and it knows not what to do with itself.
In the inventing room, they're inventing
Gobstopper.
Yes, we learn about the gobstopper. This is going to be... Remember that later. Set it aside. Put it in your pocket because it's going to be important later. Mm-hmm. But he's inventing a gum, and this is truly the most vile thing I can think about is a gum that tastes like food. And
like roast beef.
Juices are running down your throat, and you're like, it's like I'm eating.
I want it so bad. I want tomato soup to be creamy running down the back of my thing.
Just not from gum. Just from a pill or something.
Oh, that's weird.
Or just like, twitch my neurons.
I need to be able to chew though. That's why the gum is so ingenious. It would be weird. It would be weird to have a meal without chewing.
Oh.
It's smart. And delicious.
Charlie asks his grandpa because Violet is just gonna take the gum, and Mr. Wonka's like, no, stop, don't take my gum. And Charlie's like, why doesn't she listen to Mr. Wonka, Grandpa? And he says, because she's a nitwit. But 3 minutes later, they break the rules for no reason.
100%. Also, he puts them each in a room that's going to tempt them for their individual issues, right? Mm-hmm. One of them is gum, so there's a gum room. One of them is a glutton, so there's everything you can eat, and you're allowed to do it in this room.
There's a cocaine room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's gold, literally an animal that shoots gold out of its ass. So, of course, Veruca Salt's going to want that. Mm-hmm. And then the guy with the name TV wants to be on TV. I mean, he just puts them all. I don't know why he thought, I bet Charlie likes to fly. I don't fucking know. This kid lives in a bucket. What are we going to...
I think that he didn't expect them to do that. Because I think that when he freaks out and yells at them again, he really is disappointed.
I agree.
But he's like, this doesn't make sense. You're so well behaved. Why did you break the rules for no reason?
And it wasn't him. It was fucking Grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandpa does it every time.
He needs a good kick in the pants.
Get back in bed.
My brother always says the line from this scene. He goes, or Violet's like describing and a baked potato with sour cream. Elliot always says, with sour cream.
It is the stupidest line. Like, that's my girl. She knows about toppings.
Yeah, so Grandpa and Charlie take the fizzy lifting drinks. And like, this is truly just like, we need Charlie to have something to do. So he and Grandpa Joe can be on screen by themselves for 2 minutes.
And I will say that, like, as a burper myself, I am always grossed out by the amount of burping it takes to get them down from the ceiling and the way that their burping sounds. And I just feel like they smell. I already think Grandpa smells. I have an issue with smells.
I think you think Grandpas smell.
He's in bed all the time. He looks for
all grandpas, I'm saying.
I understand. He looks for his slippers, and what do you see? A bedpan. All I can think about is this man's shit. Yeah. They're in a one horse open shack. And I whatever. They're having a good time. He's in a weird bubble room. That's the other thing. I don't know how much this movie cost to make, but there's something so like whimsical and expensive looking in parts, and then cheap as shit. So it's like, okay, so this is just a black dome and they've got bubbles. I know what bubbles...
they're being lifted on wires. I mean, some of it looks good. There are some shots that I think are where they're not being lifted. And they must have digitally removed the wires because I looked for the wires and I couldn't find them.
And we love the wire in this house.
Devil down in the hole. But yeah, Grandpa Joe is like, oh, it's okay. We can break the rules. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
This would be like you breaking a rule at a museum.
Which I don't
Yeah, you would never.
fucking ever.
The geese and the eggs, the golden eggs. Tell us about them, Lacey.
Well, you've heard it before.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
We have to follow the outline.
This is another one that doesn't follow the rule of physics, and I'm just saying you don't have to, but it really takes me out of it. And I'd like to know in the newer one, are the eggs heavy? Because they're big, giant, solid gold fucking eggs dropping out of these huge geese, and then Violet picks one up, and Veruca picks one up. She's like, "I've got a golden egg."
In the novel, as in the remake, and the remake was much more like
Physics
just take
realist.
everything from the book.
Yeah.
It's squirrels and nuts. It's not geese and eggs.
Oh, so they're not huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is the best musical number.
It's great. She's great.
She wants the whole world, and I love her.
and I don't want to show it.
I love that part, and her hair gets in her face, and then she goes, "I'm a pleasant girl."
What's great about that specific thing is, yeah, it has her being evil and then transforming to good again without any cuts. She's just standing in front of the camera,
Right.
freaks out, and then moves her hair.
Right.
What I'm saying,
What I'm just trying to say is,
I
Dad,
want a bean feast.
I want all the beans.
It's fucking British people.
Oh, they love their beans on toast. And then wouldn't you know it, she's a bad egg. And then she goes down the garbage chute, and hopefully she isn't burnt alive. And I always find it sweet. He's the only parent that goes with his kid.
That's true.
He dives in. He truly does love her, doesn't see anything wrong with her, knows that she's really hard to please, but thinks it's totally fine. And she's the best. And I just really want to please her. I just think she's the bee's tits. And he's a loving father, just
He's misguided, but yes.
He truly does love her.
He's parent goals and she's girl boss goals.
Okay.
But then Grandpa Joe says, Mr. Salt finally got what he wanted. And Charlie's like, what's that, Grandpa? Veruca finally went first.
What does that
What the
mean?
fuck are you talking? What? What does that mean?
Like he wants his kid to die?
I guess, or wants her to come first?
Ah, that's what I thought.
Like
I
what?
Ew!
Or fine.
Matt, you made this so dark. I wanted that to be my thought in my head that never came out.
Yeah,
Ew.
but I knew you were thinking it. I know how your sick fuck mind works.
You thought it. Also,
because of you.
anyway. Okay, and then another, a delightful machine that I want to sit on, because here is an area where they make the foam and the consistency and the viscosity just right. They sit on the Wonka mobile for no reason at all, just because this is a man at his house with a lot of time on his hands making things. Most of them have no real purpose, but he wants to show somebody. The gold tickets were for him. He just like, I've made a lot of stuff. I need a crop of people to come in here and ooh and odd. Anyway. They get on it. I think it's powered by beer.
Yeah, by carbonation.
Yeah.
And as Grandpa Joe says, got more gas in it than a politician.
Grandpa Joe would know. He's a man of the world.
He's just got one-liners for days.
Yeah, he really does.
Grandpa, you crack me up like an egg. But this is the point. Every time I watch this movie, whoever I'm watching it with, meaning you, 'cause who else is going to be? I say, hey, have you noticed that this movie's still going? And then
Right.
you say, God, you're right. Because just the energy is all gone.
It's completely
You can't
gone.
believe how much time there is left.
It's just like, just kill the last kid, please. Kill the fucking kid. Mike TV, like, you should have at least done them in order of people of who I care about. And Mike TV could have died first, easily.
He could. I guess the book was written in 1964. His name is T-E-A-V-E-E.
It's T. It's T-E-A-V-E.
Okay. But I guess maybe in 64 people weren't always calling television TV, so this was more of a joke. Do you realize his name is actually like the thing you watch? I don't know. I couldn't find an answer on when people started saying TV.
I also don't understand how it's a TV if it's a completely open box and not just teleporting, but whatever. What kid would love something so much? I could really, really love cannon fire, but I don't want to be a cannonball, get in a cannon, and then be shot. This is stupid. You can love TV and not want to be pixelated.
You're so right, because
doesn't make sense.
They have not. I want to be on TV versus I just love consuming TV are so different.
And that's a whole different thing from being shrunken forever so I can fit in this size TV for a moment.
But it is weird to just collapse those two things. I love watching TV. I've never expressed interest in wanting to like be a performer.
Right. I just really... Right. I watch football every single Sunday. Now I'm on a football field. Pass it to me, Breeze.
Yeah, he should like this less.
Yeah, what's on? Nothing.
Yeah.
A fucking chocolate bar.
Now I'm in the TV, but I
Now-
want to watch the TV.
Right. Where's the little tiny TV inside this TV?
In the book, I like this is where Roald Dahl like really grinds his axe because like the Oompa Loompa song about how kids who watch TV deserve death, like it goes on and on and on and on and on. Why don't you read a book instead?
I'm a writer of books, by the way, in case you didn't know.
So yeah, the mother's like, I can't believe you did that thing to my child. You shrunk him, and and who knows what else. And he's like, dear mother, you let's not speak. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Fly, fly, fly.
I did feel like her and Grandpa Joe kind of had a vibe a couple times.
I kind of thought so
picked that
too.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, okay. Mr. TV back in Arizona,
Grandma in bed.
Maybe he's
she
okay
could
with
scoot
it.
over. She could scoot over. She can have the middle.
So
This
yeah,
is
Mike
just-
TV's gone, and now there's only Charlie left. And he's like, well, you won the contest, right? But Mr. Wonka, he's giving off weird vibes. What's going on?
Also, since when was this a contest? They don't all get there and they think they're going to tour a chocolate factory that's never
Yeah,
gonna
that's true.
see.
I'm getting it mixed
It's
up with
right. There's never been any talk of a contest. It's just they start dropping like flies.
Yeah, because in the remake, there's like also there's going to be a grand prize. So then the kids are like, I'm going to win that grand prize.
Got it.
But he's just like, well, what about my lifetime supply of chocolate?
They're all supposed to get that.
Yeah, I know. But so they want to find out, Mr. Wonka, when's that going to happen? And Mr. Wonka's like, I don't know, bye. Goes into his office. So they follow him in.
No, that's not what happens. He just goes in. He says nothing. He just says bye. There's the exit. And that's when Charlie and the grandpa are like, what the hell?
Mhm.
Let's go ask him. And I'm like, what are they going to ask them? I don't know. Like, the chocolate's just going to be in your mailbox. You're going to get like 3 bars a month for the rest of your life. That's it. Anyway. And then that's when he's like, you get no chocolate. You sign the contract and you just Leplorum Elysium.
Oh, but crucially, his office is full of half things because he's just that quirky. But yeah, he then says, you don't get the chocolate. You broke the rules, and then really unleashes on him. And
I think he is really upset.
this is a good scene because this is just the 3 actors just acting with each other. And you see, yeah, this is him being honest. This is not him performing. He's actually mad at Charlie.
Right. Now
And then
now I have to do this all again. And he's clearly he has to have been doing investigations into someone who was possibly going to be the person he wanted to, like, why you wouldn't just chance it on a group of 5 kids. I mean, it just implies that he put a lot of work into Charlie that we didn't see.
he wanted someone who would do things his way. He told Charlie what
I
to do, and
know.
then Charlie didn't do it.
But he found him some way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And he blew it.
I agree. Genuine anger. But then Charlie, Grandpa Joe's like, Mr. Slugworth wants a gobstopper.
Mhm.
And Charlie turns around and he gives the gobstopper back to Mr. Wonka.
Which, if there's any way to prove loyalty, that was the way. Charlie, good move, dude.
Yeah, it's like
That was it.
if you went to Metallica in 2000 and said,
Here, Lars.
I
Here's.
I bought your CD from Target. I didn't download it.
Sorry.
And Wonka's like, so shines a good deed in a weary world.
He was weary. That was a big day for him. He hadn't been around people in a long time.
So you've won, Charlie. My God, you've won. Let's get in this elevator, go up in town,
And-
see the town.
And you couldn't make a hole in your roof? Why was this needed? Why break the glass ceiling? None of you are women. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but so they're flying through the sky, and Grandpa Joe and Charlie are admiring their town and are like, look, our house, our school, it's so pretty from up here. And the music sting is playing, and it's, if you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. So it's like the message here, like, guys, you already lived in paradise.
You just didn't have any money.
You needed
were
to
all very
appreciate
hungry.
it. Yeah. But Willy Wonka, I could bequeath my holdings to my employees, but I don't want to do that. I just want to
'Cause
find
they're
a
not
new
real
boss
people.
for them. Yeah. This is by the way how your boss thinks of you if you're listening.
It's not even boss employee. It's
Owner.
and things that need to be watered and who will look after them? They're just stupid little stupids.
Mm-hmm.
And our kid brought up a good point this morning on the way to school. It's like, what other person who lives in a place starts every song with where they live? America, 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 right? They're the or humans can do. I like it, or the thing that they are. They live in I thought they lived in a place called Oompa Loompa and are Oompa Loompas.
No, they're from Loompa Land. They're Oompa
Loompa
Loompas.
Land. Okay, right.
No, but it stands. Yeah, it'd be
What?
human. Say it ain't so. I will not go. Human.
The person speaking is a human. Yeah, weird.
The writer of the movie, the ghostwriter, because Roald Dahl didn't actually write it. He just said, "Read my book." He said he couldn't find like a good way to end the movie. What's a good line to end this movie? And this movie's really a fairy tale, isn't it? So he has Gene Wilder say like, "Don't forget about the man who got everything he wanted. He lived happily ever after." It's a shitty line. I hate it. I hate the last line of the movie.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Here's what I like about the remake. The remake, there's no deception. Charlie wins. He didn't do fizzy lifting rings. Willy Wonka's like, "Great, you're gonna win my factory. Here we go. You just have to leave your family behind and come live in the factory." And Charlie's like, "Well, I'm not going to do that." And then there's like 15 more minutes of the movie that then like grow the relationship between these two characters and make them learn things from each other. And it's way more satisfying. And then eventually like Willy Wonka has to accept, okay, yes, you can bring your grandparents and your shitty little house into my factory.
And your mom can get fucked?
Your parents too.
Okay,
Because he has a mom and a dad.
said-
Sorry. You know, that an artist has to learn, and you can, you know, feel the Tim Burton in it. An artist has to learn that, you know, it's cool to make like flippity flu and spirals and stuff, but also what really counts is family. He just needed to watch the Fast movies. So that's